Yay.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's the Do Carpenter and Mrs. Do Carpenter. We are not in our shop, but we are live from Dirt Patch Heaven. Yesterday, we installed and completed the raised garden bed, and it just turned out fabulously. The blocks interlocked together. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, we're gonna have the video out on the full install and the build and some close-ups on the interlocking blocks and whatnot. Man, the thing about it is Julie is, hi y'all.
Doug Sweener says hi.
Hey
hi,
Doug, how you doing, buddy? But Julie is just the most fabulous gardener. I had no idea what her vision was for this raised garden bed, but the stuff that she put in there and the reasons why she put it in were just incredible. I learned so much about gardening and what feeds plants and what you can do. I mean, she gardens with garbage. It's crazy.
It is actually really amazing, and I also learned
but
a
it's
lot.
right behind us. Step back, babe. Yeah, there it is. That's the raised garden bed with the organic Air Crete cobb mixed blocks, and they worked great. I think it looks good. It's something that could be used in a landscaping application. Of course, you don't have to make round blocks. You could make them any shape you wanted. But we were really excited just to kind of show you guys, show you a picture of it.
Someone says hi. I can't read the name. We're out in sunlight, and it makes the screen really, really hard.
Yeah,
so
it
hi.
makes the screen hard to see. So, but we planted carrots and beets and radishes and
all hardy
some
ones
other
that
lettuce, leafy stuff that she planted. Yeah, I don't know, but
Bigfoot something. Okay, evening peeps. Bigfoot says evening peeps. Hey, evening.
How you doing, Bigfoot?
It's definitely not evening here, if you can tell by the direct sunlight.
Right, but we're real excited about this, and the video on the full build is coming out. It's really cute. My boys were carrying blocks and bringing them to me, which is something you couldn't do. I mean, one of them's 3 years old. You just couldn't do that with normal heavy concrete blocks. But
and they had so much fun being able to help their dad build it.
And Melanie Mrs. Honeydew got some really good close-ups of the interlocking blocks and how I interlocked them together. The bottom row I turned upside down, and it doesn't affect it. And she got some good shots about how we turned the corner and kept them interlocked. And I think it's gonna be something that, well, it is. It's gorgeous. You've got her cabin in the backdrop there, and the garden bed right out in front. We put it on some Visqueen because she flood irrigates, and she didn't want any weed seeds coming up from underneath. Something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Right, but she put all this type of stuff down in the bottom to make a hotbed out of it. It'll actually generate heat, and she can put a small little greenhouse situation over it and plant stuff earlier. So you guys gotta stay tuned for that video that's coming out tomorrow. It's
we're
really
getting some
incredible.
questions. Okay.
Okay.
So UK is in the evening. Yes, you guys would be in the evening right now, wouldn't
I
you?
wondered why you guys left the tab on the bottom. That's why, so that they would interlock, and it's actually
and hold them together.
If you watch the video on how I made the forms, it's a perfect arc that matches the arc on the outside of the block, so that when you turn the corner, it just kind of rotates in there. It doesn't matter. It works really cool.
It does work really cool. And then Muhammad Ali says, not fair. It's nighttime here in the UK. Good to see you guys. And can you use a pressure washer to make the foam generator for foam in Air Crete?
A pressure washer. What infuses air into the foam is air. So what you're suggesting is just the opposite. You're suggesting pressurizing the water. I think, in my mind, just thinking about it from an engineering standpoint, I don't think it would work. I think you'd end up with some really
wet.
Yeah, I don't think it would work.
Okay, UTR says, oh wow, I caught you guys live. Didn't even know you were going on.
Okay, I got to admit, I tried the pressure washer thing. It didn't work. I also tried a paint sprayer. Remember that, babe?
I do.
When I was inventing that foam mate, I tried to make foam with a...
Didn't you use the tube for a bigger chamber though?
Yeah, I did. And then I put a tube on the end of the paint sprayer, and that didn't work because of the way the valves were and everything in it. So that's how I ended up coming up with the foam mate.
He tries a lot of different things.
I do.
Oh, I missed that tab part. Haha. I was asking you about during the last live stream.
Oh, yeah.
And Kathy made it to a live episode.
I
Hey,
love her.
Kathy.
Kathy Grin.
I know.
I love that name.
And someone, Doug Sweener says air and soap.
Air and soap. Yep. Air and soap makes it all possible.
Right? And this stuff is actually quite amazing. And the longer it sits, the harder it gets.
Yeah. And, you know, this was a project on a small scale that you could do using the foam mate and everything. I am actually constructing a commercial type one that we're going to build wall panels with. I'm still going to use the foam mate to infuse the end gun to infuse the foam in. I'm just going to use a larger tank, and I'm going to have a folding tank situation that folds the foam into the cement. So that's all going to be coming here pretty quick.
Okay, let's see. I think we got a new comment. Muhammad says, thank you for your reply. And Bigfoot said, the foam is made by Venturi, like on carburetor? Sucks. Soap into the airstream, yes?
No, I have the way I designed the foam mate was like this. I put the same amount of air pressure in a T going into the reservoir with the soap solution as coming through. However, I made a little bit bigger area right before it hits the gun, which allows the air to flow all the way through the end of the gun. And what that does is it just makes the pressure right there a little bit less than what it is in the tank. So when you turn the valve from the tank, it allows the soap solution in to mix with the air. And what really mixes it together is when it goes through the stainless steel mesh that's inside the tube. And it's all turbulated in there with the air and the soap solution, and by the time it comes out the end, it's like shaving cream. I mean, I sprayed this stuff on a cable line coming into our house. It was only a 1/4 inch, and it just stuck to it and got about that big around.
Okay, and then I really love the raised block bed. You guys are a genius. That was from 50 Shades of Green.
Give them another view of it. There we go. We had to step out of the way, or at least Mrs. Honeydew did. Stay right there, babe. No, no, come back in screen.
I see how it is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you, 50 Shades. We think it's beautiful,
you know what?
Too.
I love that comment. I really love your raised garden block bed. You're a genius. I don't think I'm a genius by any stretch of the imagination. But I did make these blocks out of aircrete, and I did infuse straw into them, so they're a cob mixture. And that's something that Julie really wanted.
Okay, and now Roberta's artistic adventures. Love watching everything you guys are able to create. That is a wonderful benefit to all homesteaders, especially the tiny homesteaders. Well, thank you.
I love that comment too. That just tells me, because I've had a lot of comments about it seems like an awful lot of work when you can go buy a block for $2.79 or $3 you know. But sometimes building something like this is a labor of love. It's
exactly.
And it's something we love, and I learned a ton. By the time I made over 100 blocks, I got the mix down just perfect. So if you are wanting to get a foam mate and wanting to have bigger ideas for your aircrete, this is a perfect starter project. By the time you're done with it, you will have it down so good. You'll know how to adjust your valves just right. In fact, I'm gonna do a quick video on how to use the foam mate and use it effectively. But this is a perfect project just as a learning tool to move into bigger and better things like building a shed, which you're gonna probably wanna do after you see what I'm building for the grandparents.
Nizara says, very pretty raised bed. Kathy Griffin laughed at you.
Why? She's laughing at you.
No, because you told me to get out of screen.
Oh.
And Bigfoot, those bubbles are awesome. Very uniform. Good job. Hi, Mrs. Honey. Hi. And then Doug Sweener says, use a drive or a mixture. We use soap in our mix. Or mix.
Could you use that spray that on a chicken wire fence to make a wall? Well, I'm not going to give off all my secrets because I am doing some wall panels coming up very soon. But it involves a mesh wire system, so stay tuned for that.
But are you standing back spraying it on with your gun?
No, I think I could pressurize it and spray Crete it on, because you know how I can get it to be really sticky and slumpy? There is a mix that I know I could do and use it as a spray applicator as well.
Okay. Okay. How will the aircrete stand up to freezing and thawing cycles?
Okay. This is something that a lot of people were concerned about.
Yes, it is.
Now, I worked for an engineering firm in Boise for many years, and it was a geotech firm. So we built mostly roads and bridge abutments, and things like that. And I ran their soils lab for several years as well. And so I had the opportunity to do tons of tests on different soil configurations. And I know that when I was doing all the tests on underlayment for roads, it depended on the weather systems in that particular region. But to stop the frost heaving and the breaking up of the road because of freeze and thaw cycles, we had to have a drainable underlayment under the road, you know. And even though aircrete will absorb it, it also, if it gets too saturated, drains it out. And have you ever had ice in an ice cube tray and had it bulge up because it had nowhere to go? Well, the cells in there will absorb only so much. They're not completely full. I think there's going to be a place for them to go, and I think it's going to work, and it's going to work great. Of course, you know, time will tell. By next spring, we will know, but I have no doubt, just kind of based on my sensibilities about systems, that it will work.
RSJ Texas says, I'm amazed at all the creative things that you invent. Well, thank you. That is very kind. And then Mohammed also said, did all your blocks have a smooth finish? Can we see a close-up of one? I got to the show late. Usually I love what you guys do and are awesome. Well, thank you.
Okay. The blocks did not start off with a smooth finish in my first mix tries, did they?
No.
And I did a specific live video that you should go back and watch. What did you name it, babe, where I was doing the comparison between my first blocks and when I got it figured out and the smooth finish?
Don't remember.
Okay, there's only 3 videos about these blocks, so your chances are pretty good to hit the right one. But I show a perfect close-up of the blocks. They're already interlocked in and the dirt's in there. I don't have one, so I'm not gonna take it apart to show you one, but I guess we could move
I can move the camera a little closer for you guys, so excuse the jostling that is going to be coming.
Okay, show him this block, and then this is a good one to contrast it with. Okay, this is one of my first blocks that I wasn't so happy with. By the time we got it figured out, this is what the finish was looking like. They're super hard. They're still light. They're still aerated. But you can see how the outside edge of this kind of crumbled off. They are getting harder and harder and harder, but they aren't as beautiful as like this top one. You can see the cob sticking out.
And hopefully you guys could see all that and I wasn't aiming the camera in a different direction.
So.
All right.
We probably missed some messages.
We probably did. Let's see. Okay. Is aircrete naturally water repellent to use for a roof?
No. It actually absorbs water and water can run right through it. But
would you be able to put some type of sealant on it?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I was a crane operator for 24 years. And I started with a roofing company that I was with for 12 years as a crane operator. And there were many roofs that we did that had lightweight concrete on top. That's where I first, in the early 90s, found out about it. But I didn't think it was anything that anybody could do on a small scale, because the equipment they brought in to do it cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so but you would have to put a sealant over it. But absolutely, you could. I'm gonna put it on the roof of this shed, and you'll see how I seal over it.
So Craftnastic Friend says, hi, 50 Shades of Green, you are a real inventor. A right professional pot, LOL.
Gotta get my shoulder out of the way of the garden bed.
Yeah. Okay, Kathy Green says, how would you go about making aircrete waterproof without endangering the water catchment?
Without endangering
I don't know.
You would only want it to be waterproof on one side if you're using it for a specific reason, like for a roof. And there are spray-on EPDM or rubber type situations that you could spray onto it, or you could just put a regular roof over it depending on the framework that you have the aircrete poured in.
Okay, and then Kathy said, oh, I did great. Oh, thank you. Hopefully it wasn't too wobbly. Mohammed gave me us a thumbs up. And then Roberta's Artistic Adventure, making cob aircrete stable, impossible or possible. Is that the video it's in? Thank you.
Okay, that's the video.
And then Roberta's, that is the Do Carpenter YouTube video of the samples of aircrete garden blocks. Well, thank you for posting that. That helps out a lot.
Yeah.
I name a lot of different videos and sometimes I forget what is in what video.
So, but I am super glad that we got this project done. The full build video and watching it go together and how it interlocks is coming out tomorrow. If you like what we're doing here, like, subscribe, and check out our other videos on how we built this flower bed, well, it's a garden bed. I mean, we planted a garden in it.
And Bigfoot says, Mr. Honey, you should chat to Steve and Steph, resale killers on YouTube. Steve was at Concrete Marketing and they are funny. You two could discuss aircrete for hours. Or discuss Crete for hours.
Mrs. Honeydew is going, no, you can't talk to that dude, because she'd never get me back. She knows. I have an Army surplus buddy that gets me a lot of stuff for all my little projects, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go out to Dana's for 15 minutes, and like a half a day later I show back up. So
he gets so excited about junk.
It's not junk.
Nice old things.
Okay.
Okay.
What did they say?
I don't know.
They said, what are you and...
Julie planting in this garden bed?
Oh, it has beets and carrots and radishes and that lettuce stuff.
Yeah,
And
her and the kids got to have fun and plant it yesterday, and just kind of the more hardy vegetables. So the like green beans.
She thought it was a little early for cucumbers. My boys insisted on planting one, so she put a jug over the top of it.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
To save it from the frost at night.
Okay, and then, oh man, I thought I turned my alerts off, you guys. I apologize.
Are you serious? I even reminded you. It's a thing.
Okay, I really thought I had turned those down. I will work on that. When you finish the DeWalt radio arm saw,
look, Robert. Artistic event. I totally get Darwin's passion for junk. See?
Awesome. And Bigfoot says everyone needs a hobby or obsession, LOL.
Harry Potter this time, not gummy bear.
I have both for different alerts. So sorry. I love Harry Potter. Okay.
What does it do when I call?
It plays the tune for You're Beautiful.
Oh, I love you.
Aw, thanks, baby. All right, so the radio arm saw that Darwin got for $40, was it 40 or 20? I forget.
$38.
Okay, that is coming, I don't know. We need to get that done though, don't we?
Right. Well,
we
had all these spring projects going. You know, I mean, the rocket mass heater, the chimney, the window insert, all these things. And I had to build a shop in our basement, basically. Just put a bench down there and some tools, and so that I could start these aircrete projects. And I got taken away from that.
Right.
And now I have to get on that shed, like,
yeah,
right away. And then we have a geodesic dome we're building after the shed.
And then Mrs. Honeydew's taking a week off break and going on a trip to Hawaii with Julie and my best friend Maya. Ella, one of your first videos I watched, I started laughing because I was a kid growing up and you had Scooby-Dooby-Doo ringtone. I do love Scooby-Doo too.
Yeah.
Okay, Kenny says it looks great. Anita Archibald said, any idea what the insulation factor is, if any, with the cob added?
The insulation factor is going to be dependent on the mix you use, how dense it is, how much air is in it, and basically the weight of any given block. So you could mathematically calculate it based on the area of the top of the block and how thick it is and how dense it is and how much air is in it. But it's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. All right, we have got to go. So you guys have a wonderful day, evening over there in the UK.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to you guys later.
And stay tuned for that video
tomorrow.
Could
you say David Descharnes is love, please? How do you say that?
David Descharnes is love.
Let's hope we said it right. If not, sorry.
Okay. But thanks, guys. We gotta go. Love you all. Your comments are awesome. Whatever.